Right, ladies and gents, welcome to the 3rd of October. Yes, I am still stood in the boys' winter field. Yes, that is the hay field somewhere over there. And yes, it's got a little bit wetter, Anthony. It's definitely got a bit wetter. In fact, that pile of brush there, I expect is on top of that fence that goes towards the river that way. Now, if you look at the telegraph pole down there, you can just see there's a little bit of a watermark on it. So I think this water level might be going down. Hopefully it's going down anyway. So yeah, the girls that are the mares that were in that field next door have been moved, and I'll show you that in a minute. So yes, this is the post that I put in yesterday with the boss man. Good job I did put that post in, I didn't leave it. Yeah, joys. Now I know you've heard me talk about being down at the far rings and the bridge that we put in, and there's a ditch that runs into the river. Usually tells you which way the water's flowing, if it's coming up or down. But I also have two other little indicators as well, which I'll show you. So generally this is another indication where the water's coming through there is about 2 foot lower than the rest of the land around it, and this is basically flowing into the reservoir field that's just over there. So this means that the ditch that runs through there is all filling up and will be coming towards our drive. So another way of telling is down here, when this is flowing over, this is the edge of the field, just where these docks are, well sorry, these nettles are, where these nettles are is the edge of the field. You can just see a spit of land over there, which is the bank, and that is the girls' winter field. And I'm actually stood on top of a gate surrounded by water. I was actually going to go walk down that field. Yes, it's a stupid thing if you don't know your fields, but I know where the field is, and most of that's got a bank on. The idea is to go and check the gates, because people don't always lock the gates, and when it's like this is the reason we have a bolt and a hasp. But yeah, it's a little bit deeper than I wanted. Top of my one is already. That's just this bit here, so I left it a little bit late. But yeah, she's definitely coming up still. We'll see what happens in a few hours. Right, so this is a view you won't get very often. At the moment we are on some scaffolding at the top of the main house. Definitely still wet. Right, so it's about 3:30 now. There's my gate post. Boss did ask if we were going to put the gate on today. I did say I don't think so. So yeah, it's definitely come up more since this morning. Must have come up 2 or 3 foot. In fact, if we go over here, I actually put a stick in the ground. It's been quite fast today, to be honest. Been quite a few people surprised how quickly this water's come up. And they're the last 3 horses that are in that paddock. And yes, before anybody gets too excited, they can get out. There is a gate behind the horse that takes you up to the main estate. So if you look just there is a stick. Now I put that in this morning at about 8:30, and the water's come up just a little bit. So yeah, definitely the first big flood of the year for us. But it has been worse. It has actually been all the way up to this banking behind us. Right, it's the final bit before I pack up and go. If you see that stick on the right hand side of that jump, that's where I put it in at about lunchtime. About 2 o'clock, 2:15. You can see the water's come past it already. And from this morning's view, we've got ourselves a bit of a lake. So, and on the other side where this pipe comes through, we are starting to get a bit saturated. So all that that's shiny is water, and it runs all the way down under these willow trees and pops out down here. So yeah, this is all grass under here as well. We could stop it running under the road. You could put a valve on it, a one-way flap on it. But what we ended up finding was, if it did come high enough to come over the road, which it has done in the past, it just ended up damaging the grass on the top of it. And so fair, when it gets this bad in here, whatever comes in goes out as quick. So it's not a particularly big issue. It just follows the low spot down, but it does come up maybe to about the end of there. But it's not particularly significant. Right, so from a very wet ditch, a very wet field, and possibly in a few minutes a very wet me, we shall say goodbye. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.